I'm refuting Hannah's claim that eating animal products has a harmful effect on people and the world around us. My opponent's secondary claims were that eating meat has a harmful effect on the environment and that cutting out animal products has a beneficial effect on one's health. First off, the secondary claim is counter to the first secondary claim, in that if we have people living longer, they will be producing more global warming gases or greenhouse gases, and polluting the environment more. So we should have them eat meat and die faster. For the first claim that eating meat has a harmful effect on the environment, she went over global warming and how there was a study that produced that 18% of greenhouse gases were caused from animal livestock, and this number was found to be too high. The same source, the United Nations, adopted later data that estimated it at about 14.5% rather than the 18 previously stated, and they also came up with some management issues that could reduce it down to 10%. Now, should we really make everyone stop eating meat to get rid of 10%, and we can do something about fossil fuel issues that produce 57% of greenhouse gas emissions? She also stated that it has a harmful effect on the soil. And while this is true, she also neglected to mention that the same harmful effect on the soil is caused from plants that feed us. So while, yes, it does have a harmful effect on the soil, but causing people to not eat meat would make them eat more plants and would have more plants that have a harmful effect on the soil. Her secondary claim was that cutting out animal products is beneficial to one's health. She stated that vegetarians have a longer life expectancy, according to researchers at Loma Linda University of California, have an average of 7.8 years longer. However, what she failed to mention were that the people under question were of a religious group associated as the Seventh-day Adventists, who also did not drink, smoke, or consume caffeine, which could have led to errors in the data. Amanda Chan of the Huffington Post stated that vegetarians tend to be more likely to be married, have a higher education, and also likely to exercise and less likely to smoke or drink. This could have a lot to do with how bad or how this is affecting views on how vegetarians live, because dietary choices could cause them to live a more healthy lifestyle, and that could be the reason why they're less susceptible to problems with health, such as high blood pressure and cancer and so on. She also mentioned that vegetarian diets support a healthy bone structure, and that eating meat causes calcium secretions from the bones. And this study was found to be in error from the Journal of Nutrition, found several other cases of study that did not support the findings and found no correlation between renal acid levels and calcium loss. So in conclusion, the major claim is incorrect. Thank you for your time.
All right, all the structural stuff is set up very effectively. So, Tyler, it's not hard to follow the arguments that you're presenting. There are only two secondary issues that you have to deal with, one concerning the environmental issues and one concerning the health issues. On the environmental issues, you diminish the information about the greenhouse gases a little bit by arguing that the UN has revised their data down a bit. So I thought that that was a reasonable press on that particular point. And then and then you've got a good follow-up there. I assume that it's from the same UN report that says good management skills could actually reduce that to 10% of the greenhouse gases. So that's again a good attempt to diminish that particular argument. I like the response that you come back with that says the truth of the matter, though, is that managing fossil fuels is much more likely to change the impact on global warming, and in fact that it is more manageable to do. I think you could use some evidence that suggests that. Also, you know what? I'm not going to say that I think you had to do that, but I think the idea, you take it as a presupposition that global warming is in fact happening to the degree that people say it is dangerous. I've heard arguments suggesting either that the estimates are inaccurate, not that global warming isn't happening, but it is a natural process, and the biggest argument is that human activity is likely to have almost no impact on that, and that's a potential counterclaim that you don't go with. And part of it is you don't necessarily have as much time to do so as you like, but that's something that's sitting out there. Don't be afraid of maybe making such an argument, because later on, let's say we were doing this in a debate and you were going to have a longer debate. The advantage of making an argument like that is that they would then have to respond to it. Even if you weren't successful at convincing people that global warming wasn't happening, they would have to spend time arguing about it, and that would give you more time to argue the other issues where there is some challenge that's going on. So just a strategy sort of thing. The argument on health, I thought that you did a pretty good job talking about some of the things that are problematic. The citation that it was a group of people, Seventh-day Adventists, that because they are vegetarians, that's why they got studied. But of course, I think you point out that Seventh-day Adventists also have other healthy behaviors that they engage in that might account for a lot of this particular change. The absence of caffeine in their diet, the no smoking and no drinking sorts of behaviors, especially no smoking. You know that increases people's death rates a lot. And I think you could probably give a couple of statistics that show that smoking and drinking have a huge impact on people's mortality levels, which means that gives us reason to believe that that is, in fact, the key issue that's going on here. I thought that you had a general piece of evidence that talked about some of the same things we talked about the other night when we were talking about multiple causes, that lifestyle differences are going on with people who choose to live a vegetarian lifestyle, and that's more likely to account for it. They exercise more and all that kind of stuff. You had a nice general quote on that. To me, the one piece of evidence that I thought was really indicative of having done some research and investigation into this was the challenge to the stuff about the calcium levels in bone structures, where you found a direct criticism of the research that they did, and it comes from a source that is highly credible and suggests that you don't have that relationship. More stuff like that would probably make the argument even more effective. So I thought you did a pretty good job. All right, thank you.